miss it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, hi there. I'm Candace, and I'm hanging out today in my awesome treehouse. It's such a beautiful day outside. I love to come here and enjoy all the things God created. It's fun to look out the window. I feel nice and safe here, inside my treehouse. It's great inside the treehouse, but I'm going on my first camping trip with my family next weekend, and I'm gonna have to spend the night outside, in the woods. Can I tell you something? I'm a little nervous. All those critters and creepy crawly things. What if a raccoon tries to get in my tent? Even though I'm scared, I'm not sure I want my family to really know I'm scared. Have you ever been afraid of something? Maybe the dark, or a storm, or something that you've never told anyone about? Well, I know someone who knows all my fears. God. God knows when I'm afraid, and He knows your fears too. When I'm worried or anxious about something, I know the best thing I can do is remember what God says is true from the Bible. The Bible is God's true message to us about Himself. It is full of stories of when people were afraid. But one story that comes to mind is in Matthew chapter 14. A group of Jesus' followers and friends, called disciples, were out on a boat and they saw something that may have been pretty scary. Let's open the Bible and see what they saw. Peter walked on water. Jesus had just finished teaching a big crowd of people by a sea. He told his disciples to get in a boat and go to the other side of the sea. Then Jesus took some time by himself to go up on a mountain to pray. While Jesus was praying, the disciples' boat was drifting farther and farther from land. They were in the middle of the sea when a strong wind began to blow, causing big waves to beat and bang against the boat. It was so early in the morning, the sky was still dark. Suddenly, the disciples looked up and saw Jesus walking toward them, walking on the water. They were terrified, crying out in fear, "It's a ghost!" The disciples couldn't believe their eyes. No wonder they were terrified. They were probably amazed and confused at what they saw. Let's see how they reacted. Immediately, Jesus said to them, "Have courage, it's really me. Don't be afraid." Peter, one of the disciples, spoke up. "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water." Jesus told Peter, "Come." With the wind still blowing and the waves still crashing, Peter climbed out of the boat and started walking on the water toward Jesus. But when Peter saw the strength of the wind, he was afraid. He began to sink and cried out to Jesus, "Lord, save me!" Right away, Jesus reached out his hand and grabbed hold of Peter. Jesus said to Peter, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Jesus and Peter got back into the boat, and then the wind stopped. Everyone in the boat worshiped Jesus, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Peter stepped out of the boat to walk to Jesus across the water. People can't just walk on water, so Peter may have been terrified of what could happen. I would have been. But Peter trusted in Jesus. Peter was actually walking on the water with Jesus. Then Peter stopped trusting in Jesus and was distracted by the storm. But Jesus didn't make the wind stop. He caught Peter and reminded him he was really there with him. Trusting God doesn't always make the things you're afraid of go away. The wind didn't stop while Peter was walking on the water. Even when you're afraid, you can remember that you are never alone. God knows your real fears, the things deep down you're scared of, and He is with you. You know, I'm still a little bit nervous about spending the night out in the woods, and that's okay. I don't really know what my family and I might find while we are camping, but I do know that God knows my fears. He cares about me, and that truth always makes me feel better.
Heyo, and welcome back to Weirdland National Park. I may not know a lot about fishing, but God knows everything about us. We can see that in the Bible. The Bible is God's true message to us about Himself. Let's see what it says about how God knows everything about you and me. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's check out 1 John 3:20b and see what it says. God is greater than our hearts, and He knows all things. We can see here in the Bible that God is so big that He knows all things, even what we think or feel. And even though He knows everything, He still cares about us. Now everyone stand up and repeat after me as we say our theme verse. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. God is greater than our hearts.
God is greater than our hearts.
And He knows all things.
And He knows all things.
1 John 3:20b.
1 John 3:20b.
That was awesome. When we read the Bible verse, we can know that God knows everything about us. He knows our real thoughts, our feelings, mistakes, and even our fears. But no matter what, God cares for us, and He wants us to follow Him. I think I see a fish. Let's say this verse all together with a whisper so that we don't scare it away. You ready? 3, 2, 1. God is greater than our hearts, and He knows all things. 1 John 3:20b. Great job. So, real talk. God knows our hearts, and we can celebrate that He always cares for us. We can ask Him for help no matter what. That's pretty great. You're pretty great. Hey, I think I got something. Oh,